Hello to the nation, Dr. PlayStation Nation here, coming at you guys from the Mod Spotlight world. Today we're going to be showing you guys a pretty darn cool mod. This is something that's kind of original. I really do like it. It's the Elemental Orbs mod by iNerd. Definitely a cool mod, definitely something more or less original, and I want to show you guys this. I suggest you guys check it out in your single player world if you guys would like to. Remember that you need Forge Mod Loader. If you want to install that, the link for it will be down in the description, as well as I'd like to kind of urge you guys to please rate the video if you want to support the channel, support this mod, support this video, or even if you just thought it was a cool video or a cool mod. So anyway, let's get started. So what this mod's going to introduce is these two different ores. You got the aluminum ore, and we got this ore here. And this is a very special ore, as you guys can see. This is the Omega ore. And what's going to happen when you break this is you're going to get this Omega stone, and the Omega stone does something kind of special. So now that I've shown you guys those sort of things, we're going to go over sort of the crafting recipes by far. So what you're going to have to do is for the base items, we're not talking about the orbs yet, we're just talking about base items. If you have an iron ingot in a water bucket, that's going to create iron oxide. That iron oxide is going to be used in this crafting recipe down here. If you have an aluminum ingot, throw it in a crafting bench or a crafting square, and you will get aluminum powder. If you throw both those two things together, you will get thermite. Now thermite is used in crafting recipes, as well as it is actually twice as efficient as coal, so that's like over 16 items worth of smelting. So that's definitely something cool, and you guys can use that. It does cost you one piece of iron, so it might not be the most efficient, but if you have a lot of iron, why not? Continuing on from there, we're going to show you guys how to actually make a glass orb. You're going to use a chest as well as 4 glass. Now, I do realize this is a chest, and then, you know, that's 8 pieces of wood, but a lot of these things are things that, like, you're not going to, by the time you get to the ability to make these, you're not going to be lacking in wood, if you know what I mean. So now we're going to kind of get started talking about these. So the fire orb is going to be 4 pieces of coal, and you're going to have 4 flint. Then you're going to have the lightning orb. The lightning orb is going to just strike down lightning. I'm going to show you guys all these later. You're going to have 6 pieces of redstone like this, and then a diamond on top. The next would be the explosive or explosion orb, which is going to have 4 TNT with an orb in the middle. So that's that one, and then we're going to continue on from there over here. The next one is going to be the nether orb. This one's going to have 2 pieces of netherrack, 2 pieces of soul sand, a gas tier, 2 pieces nether wart, and a gold nugget, which is going to give you the nether orb. Then we're going to go down to the defender orb here. The defender orb is going to have a pumpkin, 2 diamond, 2 iron, 3 bone. This one's going to be actually spawning in some defensive things like wolves or iron golems. The next thing is going to be the light orb. This is going to spawn things like glowstone and torches and whatnot. You're going to use 3 pieces of glowstone, a gunpowder, 4 torches, and it's going to give you the light orb. And then we're going to have the heat orb. The heat orb is that thermite that we were talking about. It's going to use 7 pieces of thermite, the orb in the middle, and then the flint and steel at the bottom. So actually, I already grabbed that one. Moving over to here, guys, we are then going to look at the ice orb. The ice orb is just 4 ice around a normal orb, and there you go. So now that I'm actually going to grab these guys here. So these guys are actually Omega upgraders. So what these Omega upgraders are going to do is they're actually going to make it, they're going to, like the name would suggest, they're going to upgrade our stuff. So I'm actually going to switch into game mode, and they're going to upgrade our stuff. So if we have take this fire orb and we right click, it's going to absorb that, but then it's going to turn this into an Omega fire orb, which is just basically an upgraded version. So I'm actually going to just throw down a bunch of these guys right here, and then I'm going to go through. I'm going to upgrade the ones that can be upgraded. Some of them, oh, and I accidentally clicked that one and caused these guys to appear. So some of them can be upgraded, some of them won't be, some of them will glitch out, and we're gonna get the heat orb and then the ice orb, and then we're all done for the ones that can be upgraded. Now, it is a warning that some things like this, in particular, these wolves are glitched, so that is something that is kind of a warning from the mod developer. So what are we going to test these on, guys? I actually have a little bit of an infestation problem over here with horses, and I kind of want to take care of it. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you guys basically what this does. So as you guys can see, the Omega Fire Orb is going to light mobs on fire in a very large radius. Then you have the Omega Lightning Orb, which is actually going to strike down mobs in a very large radius. Then you have the Explosion Orb. This is not the Omega Explosion Orb, but just the Explosion Orb, and as you guys can see, these little pieces need to load in there. We got the Omega Nether Orb, and this is actually kind of cool. What it's going to do is change a area around it into nether, and then it's actually going to spawn in some pigmen, it's going to spawn in some other resources and stuff. You can even get, you know, nether wart, you can even get things like soul sand and whatnot. So moving on from there, we got the defender orb. So the defender orb is going to, as you guys saw before, make the dogs appear. From here, we're going to do the light orb. So what that, oh, gotta move over here. What that's actually going to do, why aren't you working? Come on, really? Okay, I guess this one doesn't want to work. Continuing on, you got the Omega Heat Orb, and what the Omega Heat Orb is going to do is it's actually just going to light a huge radius on fire. So, you know, being nether, it'll actually just light the entire area on fire, and now that forest is on fire. That's fantastic. That's fantastic, guys. Sorry about that, guys. The Omega Ice Orb is actually going to freeze nearby mobs. So as you guys can see, if I go near them, they'll actually start to freeze, and it'll actually freeze nearby water sources as well. So if I go over here, then it will just go, and, oh, really? Yeah, there we go. So it's actually a little bit glitched right now. It's actually ice. Like, as you guys can see, I'm not sinking in it, but, yeah, so it didn't actually change the material. It actually needs a block update to actually do that. Same thing goes over here. It does freeze these mobs, but they actually don't have an animation for that. So, anyway, continuing on over in this direction, we're going to go to the next group of mobs, and I'm going to have to fix that later on, but, you know, that's a mission for another day. And let's do the next set of these guys. So I'm actually just going to throw this out there, then clear out my inventory, and let's move on. So the next group that we're going to be doing is going to be, we finished at ice, we're going to move on to the water orb. This is actually by far one of the coolest ones. It is pretty cheap considering it's only 8 water buckets, and so if you have a bunch of iron that, you know, you like, that you have to spare sort of thing, make a bunch of buckets. This one's really cool. Then you got something like the dry orb, which is, you know, 5 sand, you got 3 flint down there. You got the nature orb. This one's really cool. I really do like this concept as well. And then, moving over here, we are going to have things like the teleportation orb. I'm not going to demonstrate that because it's only possible to use on a server. What you're going to do is craft it like this, and you're going to use an anvil, and if you rename it to the name of the player, then it'll let you teleport to them. You have the end orb, which is actually going to do something pretty cool. As you guys can see, it's very similar to the teleportation orb, except for less ender pearls, and got some obsidian there. And that is it, guys. I think that's it for all of these things. As you guys can see, this is the crafting recipe for the Omega Upgrader. It's going to take 5 Omega Stone and 4 Iron Ingots, so that's pretty, you know, difficult, I guess, to get. We're then going to upgrade whatever we can, as you guys can see. And, oh, that's why we got one more. And boom. So now with all these guys, I'm going to show you guys what the Omega Water Orb is going to do. Pretty much what it'll do is when you're right-clicking, it'll just surround you in water, which is freaking amazing. And what you can actually do is pretty much fly in it. What it'll do is you can just keep on moving around, and it's just going to keep on surrounding you with water. And then, as you guys can see, it does kind of stay there because technically some of these are source blocks, so what you have to do is you cause block updates and whatnot, and they would go away. But you could use this to get out of ravines, you could use this for a bunch of different purposes, and it's pretty darn cool. So moving on from there, we have the Omega Nature Mob, and this one's pretty cool. If you actually go, you know, say somewhere, you were like, hey, this looks like a great place, and I want some flowers or something. You actually just click, and it'll plant flowers, it'll plant trees, it'll do all that great stuff. So I could actually go over here and see if it'll work. Maybe it will. I don't actually know. Oh, no, it won't actually work over here. That's unfortunate. It'll only work on grass, as it turns out, but it does do some pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, you got some trees planting and all that stuff. It definitely is worth it for what you're investing into it, considering it's only, like, seeds and saplings, and it does, like, a huge area and all that cool stuff. So, anyway, moving on to the last orb to show you guys today, and this last orb is going to be the Omega End Orb. And this one's pretty cool. I did try this one out earlier because I thought it was really cool by the description on the forum page, but if you click, it'll actually it'll turn a lot of this stuff into endstone, which is definitely convenient if you want a lot of endstone, and then it'll actually make these obsidian towers here, and these are supposed to emulate sort of the towers in the end, and as you guys saw, it just deleted a lot of the grass and stuff, but it definitely is cool. I really do like that one. I think that is definitely something that's really neat. But anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys did, remember to leave a like rating down below, as well as subscribe, join the nation if you already haven't. I definitely do suggest that you do install this mod. It is really cool. It might be a little bit overpowered in some senses, but anyway, I really do like this Omega Water Orb. Something that's pretty cool is you can actually use it to to help you not take fall damage. So if you use it properly, you can actually just not take fall damage like you guys just saw there. But anyway, hopefully you guys did enjoy. I'm the Doctor, and I'm out. Peace.